What brought us here was really that my father's British and my mum was Swedish, and they had kind of made a deal before they got married that they would live so long in Sweden and then they would come here to live. So that's what happened, and that's how we ended up in the Highlands.
I moved up with my family when I was very young, just a nipper. I was born in Glasgow. I moved up here when I was about 3 years old. So it wasn't my choice, but it's gone okay. It's a beautiful place to stay.
So I came home from school one day. My mum had literally just broken down at the kitchen table. She was crying. And I remember thinking, oh my God, you know, what like, who's died? And my mum was like, I can't even get a cappuccino. And it was like 1985. So Inverness just really didn't have things like that. We'd come from this big city, and the cappuccino was really not, she wasn't upset that she couldn't get a cappuccino. She was just upset that the world was so different in the Highlands compared to the rest of the world.
What brought you here?
My ex-partner was from Inverness. She was backpacking at the time through Australia, and so she stayed there for about 2 years, and when her visa ran out, she decided to come back here. And I was like, yeah, good, I'm coming with you. I don't know where it is, but I'm coming. And yeah.
To the Highlands, my parents. I was born in Fort William, and apart from that, I've lived up here. I've never lived elsewhere.
Well, my parents worked for Scottish National Heritage, and in, I think it was 2005, they moved their headquarters from Edinburgh to Inverness as part of like a drive from the government to try and get more people to live up in the Highlands. And my parents got given an offer of either you stay with the company and move to Inverness, or you we'll give you like a severance package and you have to find a new job in Edinburgh. And so they decided that they'd move up.
So, what brought you here?
The job. And the man, so a good combination.
Yeah, just my husband's job. My dad's originally from Glasgow, so I'm familiar with Scotland. So yeah, I've always, you know, school holidays, any time we had holidays, we were always up in Glasgow visiting cousins. My dad's got a big family, he's one of 10. So no.
Just because I'd been on holiday to Scotland, been on holiday to Edinburgh, and spent lovely holidays there. And when I met my first husband, he came with us and he loved it too. And we'd always talked about it, but we had no money. It was never going to happen.
So we had a lot of fun times with cousins and things, but I'd never been up to the Highlands before. So that was as far as up north, if you like, we'd been. So yeah, I mean, my husband's job brought us up this way, and that was mainly it, his job, and that's why we came up here.
And then there was a vacancy advertised, which was household removal expenses included, to Wick. And we'd never been to Wick, of course.
So university brought me to the Highlands. It's been one of the, excuse me, one of the only places that offered a drama and performance degree, which was very nice. And it seemed just like a good place to study, so yeah.
So we put the kids in the car and we went up to have a look and thought we were driving to the end of the world. And it was May and it was snowing and it was just mad.
I moved here in 1999. Just because there was no work in the northeast. I'm from the northeast of Scotland originally. There was no work at all, and also I was singing part-time, so I wanted to be somewhere where I could access the A9, because most of my gigs were in Edinburgh and Glasgow.
But we decided we'd just give it a go.
I always came to visit as a kid, because I've got a lot of extended family up here. So it was just one of those things where I couldn't wait to come back. I always wanted to come back. It always very much felt familiar, and I come and the people are lovely, and it's a beautiful city. Beautiful city.
Moved up to Inverness, got a job within a week. Was quite easily able to do my gigs in Edinburgh and Glasgow as well. Chose Inverness because it wasn't as busy as Edinburgh or Glasgow, and it was this, at the time it was the Inverness town, So we were just given city status, I think, in the year 2000.
I made wonderful friends here quite quickly, so it was quite easy to settle. And I love that it's a small city, but it's a city. But you drive, 5 minutes, and you're in the middle of the countryside, and it's beautiful. I love that. Coming from a bigger city, with not so many rural areas, that really, really appealed to me.